Welcome to Conversations with Miss Jery. We are live. It's the Miss Jery.
Good morning.
It's so good to see you again.
Thank you.
Every Sunday is a special
off this week, but
much deserved, Miss Jery.
yes, yeah. So I feel a little rested,
That's good.
but you know,
Rest.
to me today I have on some pieces from Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Which is earrings that I'm wearing is also from Dominican Republic.
And matching your fabulous nails, I say.
yes.
So, Miss Jery, you have a basket for us today that is like none other. Well, it might be like another. And you're going to tell us what other it's like.
Okay.
But tell us about the basket.
Okay. This basket is an all sweetgrass covered basket. And the only pine in this basket is the pine knots that is a part of the cover of the basket.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a double rope basket. But this one reminds me of the one that Kerry Washington had purchased. Okay.
But they are amazing. And you have very many on top, and they are spaced to perfection. And I personally is little accents, because usually we see that start to pine in your beginning.
Yeah.
But here, this is the sweetgrass start.
Yes.
And even the lid.
Yes. And this particular basket have what I call, well, what my grandmother and call the time you don't see it, complete sweetgrass basket.
Okay.
But for all sweetgrass and all pine, all bullrush, and of course, again, the combination of it all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yes.
It's just so beautiful. Now, when you said that the young lady purchased this style of basket, hers just didn't have the lid on it.
No, this was a bowl shape,
Okay.
and it had like, one rope here,
Mm-hmm.
and the rope top was on the top of her basket.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this one have the lid,
Mm-hmm.
and with the pine.
So incredible. And Miss Jery, the pine, I, have been looking. It is hard to find that long needle pine that you use. Like that tree, has to be very old, very tall, and very, very long needles.
Yeah, not necessarily. Though.
Not necessarily old.
No, because the pine, long needle pine, that's what it is.
It's just that long.
Yeah, it's a long needle pine.
I mean, it's very long. Well, you have some of the pine here, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
It's some of the longest pine needles I've ever seen.
Well, too. Sometimes the pine that we use is even longer than these.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're I've seen people and talking about the Georgia pine. Georgia pine, a lot of the time, are very long.
Really?
And longer, than the ones that I have.
Wow.
But let me tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
The longer it is, the better we love it.
Miss Jery, the longer the stronger?
Well,
not necessarily.
Because I think all of them is strong, some of it is just longer,
Okay.
and we like the longer pine. And, because I have had people to say to me, well, you're using pine, but the pine that is in the area where I live, it's no longer than us. I said, well, see, we don't use that. We use the long needle pine.
Yeah, because I've seen those shorter needles, and I've seen 3 inches, 4 inches.
Yeah.
But good Lord, some of those 8, 9, and 10 inches.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And another thing that I have seen, and I don't know what part of California, but California produces some really long pine.
Oh, really?
And not only that, our pine have 3 strands when the pine from California have 5 strands. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
3 strands being coming out from their branch, from their little.
Yeah, from this. You see,
look
this is 1.
So coming out of 1.
But in California, they have 5 strands.
Per little, what do you call that end is the head, right?
Yeah.
Coming out of the head of each one.
Yeah. So that, the ones that we have here in South Carolina.
Well, I bet you that's some prize pine right there.
Of course. And people use them, for when it comes around, for the bedding of the trees and, shrubs.
Yes.
That's what they use those for.
Oh. And they're, of course, untreated. You just take them naturally.
Yeah, it's natural.
No treatment.
They're dry, and that's the only thing.
Because those look shiny, but I guess they have natural oils.
Yeah, but you also know that pine salt come from the pine something. The sap of the tree.
Sap of the tree,
yeah. So, but it is shiny.
And where did you acquire the knot technique as just something that came to your mind, or something you saw your mom,
our ancestors,
doing that?
They did the pine knots.
So that technique goes back quite a ways.
It does. So but my grandmother and them, and a lot of the people from our community, that's what they did. And,
would you say that it is a kind of a trademark to your community? Or would you find this also, say, in parts of the South?
See, I don't know anybody
else
who
does that.
Use pine the way we have used them. But this is just a little added touch.
Well, it's a fantastic touch.
Yeah,
it's a detail that I would have hated to have never seen in a basket. Yeah. It's rightful places. Every pine tree needle needs to be in a basket. I think they are so cute. Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing this piece with us, Miss Jery, and definitely all this sweetgrass, which is so rare now. It's harder and harder for you guys to get the sweetgrass. It is. So these baskets here, I mean, they are fast becoming extinct.
That is the truth.
That's unfortunate. But we appreciate you still making your contribution to the traditions of sewing these grass baskets.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jery.
Yes.
Now, what painting do you have for us? Let me help you with that.
Okay. Let me try to help you. Today is another
cotton piece. Look at this. Wow.
And with the school bus on this particular piece, I'm working on St. Helena's Island. And for watermelon, this is what they do. They cut the top of the bus off, so that they would be able to put bins on there to haul the watermelon. So I figure, well, I could do the same thing for cotton. So that is the reason, I have this piece with the cotton bins, and what they would do is, they would us, what they would do for the cotton. When you bring your bags of cotton, they just empty it you know, the in the bins that was on the bus.
Mm. So, Miss
Yes.
Jerry, this school bus, they would take the school bus then,
Yeah.
and then, well, basically decapitate it, open it up,
Right. Right.
and then one of the buses would be used to put the product in, and the other one would haul the people.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then they would go in tow together, like caravan together to wherever it was they were going.
Yeah, to the fields.
Uh-huh.
And then,
And then later to wherever they were delivering the cotton to.
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Just beautiful.
the idea from, the people who love watermelon on St. Helens Island.
Now the baskets, I see you have some baskets there in this piece as well.
Yeah.
And those type of baskets, would they have been made?
Well, Beaufort area. It is known that the Beaufort, when it comes to their cotton, they was paid a whole lot more for their cotton because Beaufort area produced some really big cotton and fluffy. Yeah, so they produce really
cotton. And is a different type of strand influence, a type of is. I think in parts of Jamaica they have cotton trees. Yeah, like whole trees that have fluffy cotton in them. I never heard of that till someone told me, like, we got cotton trees. I said, trees. Yes.
Well, because the cotton grows on a shrub, but yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And we talked last week about, was it last week we were discussing how their fingers would be really scarred and bloody from the picking of the cotton because the thorn heads?
Yes. Yes, they do have. I have seen that much of, the cotton.
Of the process.
Yeah, that, when you see that cotton grown in that little, but
because the flower is literally the cotton.
Right.
Yeah. So the pod that it sits on. Is what would have been the bud before it
opens.
Yes.
And then when you go in to pull that cotton out,
there's a little prickling in there.
Yeah, that's where you get your prickling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess there had to have been an acquired method to doing it to help try to preserve one's hands.
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
Not to mention that you got to pull how much in a day's time.
Yeah, and all day.
Yeah. Because I used to think in the photos that they show us, you usually see, but when you really think about the amount of acreage that they had, they weren't actually congested in groups like that. They were like, even in the movies, they show them picking in groups, like just a row over. The fact is, they were getting a whole acre and some by themselves, a lonely task.
Yeah. And even when we pick beans on the farm, my grandmother, because I would go with her, and she would be in 2 rows, and then she put me in the other 2 rows. Bushes up, and you would just have all the beans right there where you gather them together and put them in the bushel basket.
Oh, so they also had baskets.
Yeah, they had baskets, but they looked like they were a white oak basket.
Interesting.
Yeah.
White oak.
And then we got paid.
Wow. 50 cents a bushel. And then they would cart them off in the buses also?
Yeah, they do. Well,
Uh-huh.
they did. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Interesting.
did a painting of that,
Mm-hmm.
with the little truck, with the beans on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've done one of those.
And then the building that we see here, what would that have represented?
Well,
Mhm. Okay.
yeah,
And Miss Jery, as usual, I always ask that are there reprints of this piece?
there's not a print.
There's
of
not
this
a print of this
piece.
piece. So you better get your original, people. Get your original,
Yes.
because these pieces are rare, different. We're always seeing bright, vibrant colors, and this one has more earth tones in it than, although that sky is still amazing. You still do those beautiful classic skies. I love those skies. It's on a school bus.
Yeah, they used to use,
Mm-hmm.
when, I guess after they've used the buses for a certain amount of years,
Their retired buses
they're retired
would be
bus.
used
Yeah,
for this.
so, but it don't have to be totally,
Yeah,
retired.
that's right.
We
still
give it
working
another
condition.
life.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know?
Repurposed.
Yes.
That's the way to go. We junk everything today, but the way to do it is to repurpose it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's this piece.
You shared so much with us, Miss Jery, but we thank you so much for that, because without this insight and information, we really would not know how deep this tradition goes. And it is an invaluable tradition. I was saying that of all the things that our lineage and our culture has to remember, that country, sewing baskets is the only uninterrupted tradition that we have left. And it is fast becoming a tradition of history and not really being, I would hate for it to go extinct. But should that ever happen, these stories that you share with us become an invaluable part of our history. So I thank you so much for your willingness to share these stories and to share them in the form of your art.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're leaving behind a tremendous legacy, Miss Jery.
Well, thank you so much. And I don't think it would have happened if it hadn't been for you, Miss Remy.
Now you go on now, Miss Jery. We're going to cut this right now. I love you, Miss Jery. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, join us right here live at Savannah City Market. This is where you come to get one of Miss Jery's original folk art and Gullah basket. So do come to Savannah City Market. You can also find her online at jerybtaylor.com and on YouTube live every single Sunday. Conversations with Miss Jery is how you find her. She's also live on Facebook, Jery B. Taylor. And we will see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Bye. No finger in the feed, Miss Jery.